Good evening, Drew.
Good evening, Paul. Whoa, my goodness. Did you do something different to your audio?
I have not. No, not at all.
Oh, my God. Your voice is it's so good.
Now, see, maybe it's the shock in my voice because you just texted me that you'd be a couple minutes late, and you're actually calling me a minute early.
Yeah, well,
So I'm like, what? Whoa!
all right. Well, hold
I
on.
wasn't
Hold on.
ready.
Let's get gross. Fuck. All right. Well, I can't not talk about it now. So,
Okay. Mm.
I'm just gonna. Okay, so I
Mhm.
just gonna drop that in the show notes. It's gonna I really had to go to the bathroom before we started recording,
Yep.
and
Okay.
and it was one of those things where like 10 minutes before the start of our usual recording time, I was like, oh man, I really have to poop,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to poop. Pooping is something that is an event for me.
Hey,
Uh,
I lean into it as well. It's
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? All right. Well, that's where we're starting tonight. So, I have a ritual. Now,
Ooh.
obviously, I don't. You all right?
Okay. No, I want to hear about your.
Oh.
I want to hear about your poop ritual.
Okay. You made a very weird noise. I have a ritual. Now, just to be clear, the ritual, as I call it, capital R, doesn't apply when I'm in public because it would be, I would probably get arrested.
Oh, I think poop ritual will be a good name for like the second album for a band.
Poop ritual. I would be shocked if one of your bands doesn't already have something adjacent to that name.
It's going into Google. Anywho, okay.
I mean, we could. Well, okay. Well, while you're there, look up see if that domain's available.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because that would be a great alias for our podcast website. Anyway, my normal like ritual, as I call it, capital R, is I like to get comfy, right? So I have been known to like take my shirt off. I like to kind of play in that space a little bit and get comfortable and really just kind of let nature take its course. And usually when I have to go to the bathroom, it's an event. I usually poop once a day, which is the correct amount of times to poop per day. And I just kind of let it happen. I'm in the bathroom for 10, maybe 15 minutes, maybe I'm on my phone, maybe I'm reading a book, I do some of my best thinking in there. It's just kind of what I do. Right. And, with my stomach issues and all the things that I've had happen to me, like I'm not a medical doctor, but I think those things are all maybe kind of connected. But that's kind of what I do. Tell me about your ritual.
It's really not so much a ritual as I just make sure that I have enough time to get done what needs to get done. I don't want to rush anything. And I'm almost a little distracted because I'm buying poop ritual.
All right, what is it? Poop? What did we say it was? Poop ritual.
Poop ritual. I don't own it yet. Give me a second.
All right.
Then I got to get it redirected, and that's a whole nother thing. But
You can do that later.
Yeah. But it's gonna be ours.
Okay, it's ours. We did it, everybody. All the money you don't send us, this is what we spend it on.
I spent $15 on worse things.
It's true.
Oh, I
think I told you
I could not believe it was available.
I told you I have dongs, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, I've got that one.
Oh.
Anyway, the reason I bring all that up was I felt one of those episodes coming on, and I thought for sure I was going to be kind of behind the eight ball, but you know what? Just kind of flew out of me, and I was on time.
It happens.
So,
it happens.
Yeah. Sometimes that does happen. I was like, yep, I feel like I'm done. Because sometimes, like, to steal a Park and Recs joke, like sometimes I go to the bathroom and I just wipe, and it's like a permanent marker, like it just doesn't stop. And those are the ones I know that I got done too soon. But no, it was the perfect amount of pooping this time.
Hold on, I may have a.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
What do you got?
No, hold on. I got to get the. I'm trying to get the Ford to work.
Oh, okay. Well, now's a good time as any.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm done playing with this domain for the time being. I'm gonna focus on the podcast and not be distracted.
So what you're gonna have to do is whenever you post this week's update, you're gonna have to make sure that you use that link.
Yeah. Oh.
All right.
Oh.
All right. Hold on. I want to give you a chance. How do you handle business up there?
In the bathroom?
Yeah. What do you do? You do anything like I do? You get weird?
No, I don't get weird. I don't get weird. I don't get weird. I just I close the bathroom door, and that's Daddy's time. That's my time. I don't rush. I just am in the moment. I'm usually there's some Reddit browsing while I'm on the pot, and yeah.
Okay.
I just enjoy the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a poop so hard you got sweaty?
Only when I'm not feeling well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean that counts.
Yeah.
Counts. You're a poop so hard you've been out of breath?
A couple of times, yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, there have been some bouts of it, like not even when I've been sick. I just feel like sometimes okay, here's a perfect example. Like sometimes I'll go to bed, and in the middle of the night, my body doesn't shut down. It's still making poop, and sometimes I'll like wake up with like this kind of extreme shooting pains in my abdomen. You ever have that happen? Has that ever happened to you? Has that ever happened to you?
I mean, if I've eaten some Taco Bell or some Skyline, yeah.
But like here, and then like I'll get up and I'll go to the bathroom, and like my body knows that it has to evacuate, but it just isn't happening. And like I'll need to kind of sit there, and if it still doesn't happen, and like maybe I'll stand up and pace around a little bit, kind of shake some things loose, do some jumping jacks, then I'll get back down. And I'll try to go. And when it happens, like sometimes it's just so much and it hurts so bad because I have to poop so bad that it actually like wins me. Is that weird? Should I go to the doctor?
I think you should go to the doctor.
All right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah. I think that's a little. Yeah. I hope you're okay, Drew. How are you feeling anyway?
I'm not weird. You're weird. Okay. Big follow-up from last week. I still don't have COVID.
I'm glad.
I'm coughing a lot less. I'm still coughing, though. So my lady friend, who is in her infinite patience, because let's be honest, to be married to me, you have to have infinite patience. She looked at me dead ass and said, "You need to go to the doctor." So after we recorded last week, my coughing got worse. We played D&D on Friday. I was coughing a lot. And I tried to like mute myself a lot, but I forgot. It was probably really annoying. And then Saturday we went out to dinner. And I'll tell you, in this day and age, if you cough and you don't have COVID, but you're in a public place, you get some looks. I felt like I really tried to hold it in, but I couldn't. So after I coughed all night again, she said to me, look, you're keeping me up. You're keeping Rocky up. You got to go. You got to go to the doctor. So I got up and I went to the urgent care on Sunday, which they then tested me for COVID again. And they got all up in my brain with that little probe, swishing it around in there. And they did the test, came back negative. The guy listened to me, didn't do any chest x-rays or anything, but he said, the fact that I had some congestion and it was like coughing, he said, it could be just sinus related or a cold or something like that. He said it also could be like the onset of bronchitis. So he said if it doesn't get better to come back. And he gave me some medicine, like some cough suppressant and stuff like that. And it helped. But I got to say, like, I feel like I've regressed the last couple of days because I'm coughing more these last couple of days than I have back when I started on this medicine. So who knows? I just know that it's not COVID. That's the only update I have.
Well, I'm glad it's not COVID, and I hope you start feeling better. That kind of stinks.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Okay, more updates. We talked probably before the holidays about me shopping for a new TV.
Yes.
I meant to bring this up last week because it got installed, but I did get my new TV.
You got it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw the one that I pasted in the show notes.
I did, yes.
Yeah, so here's what happened. That is not the TV I wanted. So this story has two parts. I want to tell you about
okay.
why I wound up with this TV and why I think this might be the best TV I've ever seen in my life. Okay. The plan was I was going to buy like a new 65 or 70 inch Vizio for our living room. I believe we have a 55 in there right now on the wall, and it's fine. I mean, I could probably get a little bit of a bigger TV, and then I was going to move the TV that's currently in the living room into the bedroom. I really had my heart set on a Vizio. I forget the exact model. One of the nicer Vizios, because, you know, for screen size and price and the fact that I'm not like super picky about image quality and things like that, although that might now have changed with this new TV, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I really wanted to get that TV. The problem was I didn't order it before Christmas because I basically told people, I was like, look, if you feel the spirit move you and you want to get me a gift, get me like a Best Buy gift card or something, and then I'll use that towards getting a TV. So after Christmas came and went and my birthday and things like that, I got some Best Buy gift cards and I went online and I was looking for the Vizio TV, and it just said that it wasn't available. Like, there was some in stock at the Best Buy near me, but there wasn't available any for delivery. And I don't know if I could have gotten that TV in my wife's car. She has a Forester. I don't know if I could have gotten that in her car, but I wasn't going to try. And part of it was too, right, is I wanted to pay them to deliver it to me and also for them to mount it on the wall. Not that I couldn't do it. It's just one of those things that's like, these guys are probably professionals. They'll be in and out in 5 minutes, and like they'll clean up after themselves. Like, it's worth the extra $150 or whatever. So I waited and waited and waited just to see if it would come back in stock, and then it was like, you know, permanently unavailable, because I think Vizio is getting ready to like refresh their TVs for 2022. So I think this is one of those things where they were just clearing out inventory.
Got it.
So I looked at other TVs. They were a little outside of my price range for what I wanted. And, you know, looking at the website on the site that you shared with me that I absolutely love, rtings.com, there were not a lot of good TVs in the 65 or 75 or 70 inch range, I should say, that were well reviewed. So I kicked around a couple ideas. I looked at some other TVs. So what I decided was I was going to get this TV, which is the LG C1 OLED. Which I believe you have one of these too, right?
No, this is the TV I want, but am not going to be able to get for reasons. You continue.
Okay, well, I'm anxious to hear why. But so my plan was I was going to buy this TV. I was going to buy a mount, and they were going to come and install it. And this is only a 48-inch TV. So this is the one that was going to go in the bedroom. Because quite honestly, I feel like that will be watched more in there because my wife loves to watch shows before bed. So she watches TV mostly on like weekends, or like tonight, which isn't at school tomorrow because of snow.
Yep.
Now I had to wait a while because I wanted it installed. So it had to be delivered and installed, and the guys came and like, and again, like, if I would have futzed around putting this TV on the wall, it would have taken me an hour to like get all my tools, measure everything, measure it again, drill holes in the wall, mount the thing, make sure it's level. These guys were done in like 10 minutes. Like, they walked in the house, they put their little booties on, said, "Where's it going?" I showed them. They do so many of these, they just like whip the stuff out of the box. Like, they don't even bother reading like the instructions. Like, it's like rip, grip, drill, hole, mount, level, boom, done. Like, I swear to God, they probably weren't here 10 minutes. And like 2 of the minutes were them like figuring out if the TV was centered in the middle of my wall. Like, it was worth every penny, quite honestly. I can't say that I would do that every time, but considering that I wanted this absolutely centered in the wall, and if I would have screwed it up, I would have gotten yelled at. So I have no qualms about paying somebody to do that. And whatever, I'm not a man. Don't at me. I don't care. Podcast isn't for you. But I had them do it, and it looks fine. Now, I got to tell you, I've never owned an OLED TV before. I didn't know what quite to expect, but this TV, Paul, looks fantastic.
Yeah, it should.
It looks fantastic. I just was not prepared for how clear this TV is. I have LED TVs everywhere else. This is my first OLED, and the pixel density is amazing. The color is amazing. I can't tell if that like artificial intelligence, air quotes mine, like motion technology is on right now, or if the TV just has such clear quality that when people are moving on the screen, it just doesn't look natural to me. There's probably a setting I got to go in there and tweak. But the thing that really surprised me the most about this is that the remote is like a Wii remote. Like when you want to use it, like you pointed at the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because when I was trying to like configure the TV and hook up my Roku stick and everything, it was like, why do these buttons not work? Why does the hand sometimes go that way? Oh, wait a minute. This is what's happening. So I don't even know how that works, but yeah, the TV is amazing. It's super, super thin. It makes me want a bigger one of them, but let's be honest, they're pretty pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Even for the 48-inch, like the Vizio I was looking at that was a 60-inch was cheaper than this. Not by a lot, but cheaper than this 48-inch LG C1. So I would like to hear why you can't get one of these.
So I have two main rituals. Ritual. I have poop ritual in my head. I have two main problems with the TV. First of all, I love this TV. Of all things, like money not being an object, my living room not being a problem, I would definitely buy one of these TVs. Just full stop. Boom. The problems I have is one, my living room is a very, very bright room, a very, very comically bright room. And OLEDs, at least for now, are notably not, they're bright, but not bright enough if they're facing a window with sun beating into it. So that's strike one against it. And I could probably live with that, but the other issue is I don't put my TVs on the walls. It's a me thing. I don't like it. I have a piece of furniture that it sits on. I also have a sound bar. This stand is not tall enough to clear my sound bar. The difference between I think for the 65-inch, like, what was I looking at? The difference between basically like the stand height, how high the TV is up is, hold on, I can do the math real quick. That's 1.2 inches. That is not enough for my sound bar. So part of the TV would be obscured by my sound bar. So this TV is, this is what I want. This is what I can't have. Yep.
But you bought an LG, right? Didn't you buy an LG?
I have in my living room, I have a Sony. Upstairs, I have a TCL Roku.
TCL, that's
TV.
The one you got.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that's hooked up to your PlayStation, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know like OLED is problematic too, especially if you let it burn in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's no video games on this thing, and it's literally just used for streaming stuff. So I think we'll be okay. But it's a really, really nice TV. I'm really glad that you turned me on to the Artings website, because that's where I did all my research, and I don't regret it. Like I said, I would love to have a bigger TV in the living room, but this is good. This is good, and we needed a TV in there, and it just took me a long time to do it. So
what I'll drop a link in here. This is the TV that I'm currently thinking may be my next television for my living room. It is the Samsung QN90A Neo Q LED. The Q stands for quantum.
Wow, I'm looking at the side profile of this thing, and it might be thinner than the TV I bought. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's a nice TV. I mean, it's not OLED, so you don't get those crisp blacks, and you don't get quite the high contrast as an OLED. But this TV has a few qualities that I like a lot. One, it gets hella bright. 2, it's got good reflection handling because again, sunlight. And 3, the viewing angle is really wide, so if I'm like cooking in the kitchen, I can still like peek in on it and see how things are going. So and oddly enough, this TV is actually more expensive than the LG OLED because capitalism.
Well, it's bigger.
Well, if you compare the 65-inch C1, this is about $100 more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know what? That looks about right. So I'm looking, if you look at the 43-inch, because the one I have, I think, is a 44. The 43 is about what I paid for the 44. And it looks like that the bigger you go, the bigger that gap goes up. Wow. 98 inches for a cool 15 grand.
I'll pass. I'm good.
Can you imagine a 98-inch TV?
No, I can't. I don't think I have. No.
That's like impossibly big.
It's big. That's really, really, really big. Yeah.
And then this is so crazy. Like the 85-inch is $32.99. Like $3,200. For a mere 13 more inches, that price goes up by a factor of 4 almost.
Yeah, I mean those big panels are expensive, I guess, but yeah. But I mean, I don't see a lot of TVs offered in 98 inches, so I don't know.
I just don't know how you keep something like that clean. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to get dusty, but like if you smudge it, like forget it. You might as well just throw it out. Like, what do you?
I mean, if you have a 90-inch television, like you're not worried. A 98-inch television, excuse me. Yeah, you're not worried about price. I don't think. But good luck. I mean, good news. If you can't afford the $15,000 all at once, you can do it in 4 easy payments of $3,750. Just
wow.
4 easy payments.
4 easy payments.
Oh.
4 easy payments. Okay. Well, are you close to like doing that, or is that something that's going to come down the road?
I'm debating it. I was hoping that maybe like I'd find it a little bit cheaper on sale somewhere with, the big game coming up here in a couple of weeks and a lot of TVs going on sale, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, we're a couple weeks away from the big football game.
Yeah, it's not a super high priority. It's like if I woke up one morning and I saw this TV for like, an extra $100 off, I'd probably go, oh, okay, time to buy it. But yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right, let's talk about video games for a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, big news this week.
Big news.
Sony said, "Hey, Microsoft, watch this. Tell me what happened."
Sony bought Bungie is what they did. Well, in the process of buying Bungie, I don't know. Capitalism's hard. They want to buy Bungie. Bungie notoriously, but I'm all kinds of messed up today. Bungie famously was the original developers of Halo, was at one time owned by Microsoft, went independent, took a bunch of money from Activision, went independent again, and now Sony is going to buy them for like what, $6 billion?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what Microsoft paid for Activision, but that was for a whole freaking studio, and this is a developer who really at this point makes Destiny 2.
Well, that's the big one, right? Mm-hmm. So, like we talked about a couple weeks ago when we talked about Microsoft buying Activision, there, the fear, right, is the whole exclusivity thing, and Sony actually sort of realized that people were kind of upset about that, and one of the first things they sort of said was, "Yeah, we're keeping everything cross-platform." Yep. Period.
You know what? My gut tells me, okay, so first of all, I think this is kind of a reaction buy to make sure Sony has a first-person shooter, like, a games as a service first-person shooter on their platform. It's kind of like, we're going to buy Bungie so Microsoft can't. But I think secondly, this is in response to Microsoft making that Halo television show. I think Sony wants to make Destiny 2 like a franchise, movies, television shows, something. I think that's the play. I think there's a third reason Sony's buying them. Sony has came out and said that they want to have like 5 or 6 like games as a service games by 2025. And I think buying Bungie is a big part of that because, like, you can say a lot of things about Destiny 2, but that net code be tight. So having that expertise as someone who's successfully done a big, massively multiplayer shooter, that generally is like not everyone likes Destiny 2, but it does play well. So
I love it. And there's big expansion coming up here in a couple weeks.
The Witch something. Oh,
yeah, Witch Queen, right?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. Yep. Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Destiny 2 fan.
I've played a lot of it. Yep.
Yeah, played quite a bit of it. Still play it. I haven't been playing it as much because, like I said, when this new expansion comes out, I'm sure I will play a heck of a lot of it. But yeah, that was the big news. It's just really interesting around the timing. I'm sure that it was probably in talks for a while, but to still announce it so close and back to back and everything. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm glad that they came out and said that everything's still going to be cross-platform, right? Yeah. There was a lot of ambiguity on the Microsoft purchase side that I don't think is still fully resolved, which I think freaks some people out. But Sony was like, no, don't worry about it.
Yeah, the last thing I've seen was a Bloomberg article, which basically says that there's already like marketing deals in place for the next 3 Call of Duties, which is what, like actually like 2.5 years worth of Call of Duties or whatever, because of the release cycle. And then after that, it is to be determined. And this is actually like, if I don't know, I watch Sony a lot, and Sony's bought a lot of studios. And a lot of them, like a lot of studios they bought are under like what Sony Interactive, what SEI, Sony Entertainment Interactive, which is their game studios. Bungie's actually going to be a peer to that. So it's going to be under the Sony umbrella, but not part of Sony, the game studio, which I think is kind of a very, corporate way of saying that they are going to be ran independent and separate. But you have to imagine there's going to be crossover. I mean, Sony just bought, who did they just buy? They just bought a big studio, and they're like, that studio is not going to make their own games. They're basically just there to help out other studios that they own. So I could see, like, if Bungie's trying to make something new, or I could see a lot of, a lot of corporate synergies there, Drew.
Oh dear.
But I if I had to rank the reasons they bought Bungie, I think number 1 is just so Microsoft don't. So
you're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. Now, so after this announcement happens, right, all of the quote unquote gaming press gets together and they offer up their, their take on it and everything. And there's been articles and everything, but the one article that came out, I think it was today, I saw it, and it was like perfect timing. Today, like this morning, is that Sony is going to spend $1.2 billion to keep their devs. Like, part of the money they are getting from this acquisition is strictly going to be spent on their employees, so everybody doesn't immediately jump ship, which I think is a pretty smart move, right? Because I'm sure there are people who liked working under the conditions as the company as it was, and I'm sure that when there's these corporate takeovers, these things happen. But I think that's a super smart move too.
Yeah, I've also heard that like one of the things that like Bungie, one of the first things Bungie is doing after they get acquired is hiring more people, which I guess like the studio is already like 900 people, which is big for a game studio that only has one game out. But I mean, again, like there's, all those cutscenes don't make themselves, right?
Right.
But yeah, Bungie's gonna grow. So I mean, I think it's good. Like they're like, Destiny 2 is a good game. Yeah. Maybe it'll be Destiny 3, or maybe they'll come up with something else. I mean, I think they've been hinting at we're going to start working on a new game soon. So who knows?
Well, they were cranking out really solid Destiny 2 content for the last couple of years, and I hope that maintains, because some of that stuff's like really freaking good. Yeah, really, really freaking good. Okay, couple more things here. I played a very unique game.
Okay.
Now, I want to recommend it to you. I truly, truly do. But given that the last couple, other than Mass Effect, that I've recommended to you, you have not liked, I just want to talk about this game.
Okay.
It is very, very unique and a little bit gross.
Okay.
The name of the game is Mind Scanners. Have you seen this game?
No, not at all.
All right. It is a kind of a retro pixel type game. Now, the premise of the game is that it is sometime in the future, and your daughter has developed some kind of contagious mental disease. So she gets taken away, and you can't see her anymore, and that makes you sad. So you become what is called a mind scanner, which is a person who works for the agency that took your daughter. So the game is you going around in this future dystopian world and diagnosing people that have been reported to be acting weird. And it's basically broken out into two parts. You first have to diagnose the person, almost like Carmen Sandiego style, where like their picture shows up and like they talk and they say like they say something, and you sort of have to pick from a choice of three things, like what their like affliction might be. And if you get three right, then you have quote unquote diagnosed them, and then you need to treat them. And you treat them by using this little device that basically fries their brains.
Oh, neat.
Now, the interesting thing about this game is that when you're treating them, the more you treat them, the more you erase their personalities. And from a job perspective, like the thing you're supposed to do, they don't like the company doesn't care because you're out there curing these people. But there is a way that you can like treat them over a longer duration that doesn't do that because they sort of recover. And it's an interesting game because there's this mechanic of you only have so much time each quote unquote day to treat these people, and you'll have multiple patients at one time. And there's also this thing where when you treat somebody, you get paid. And if you're unable to pay your daily dues, you lose. And some of the devices that you use to treat the people are scary. Like they put things on their mouth and you have to like twist their mouths. I wish I was joking. But it's a very, very unique game, very, very unique art style. And I had seen this game. It was on Xbox Game Pass, and I'd seen it for a while, and I was like, I really want to try this. But I finally gave it a shot. I love it. It's actually pretty hard. I'm playing on normal, and I've already lost quite a few times because I haven't quite figured out the optimal way to treat things yet. Like I'm starting to figure it out, and I think that's part of like the game loop is you sort of figuring this out. But part of the reason I love it, Paul, is it reminds me of another game that I absolutely adore, and that's Papers, Please.
It's funny you say that because you describing it to me reminds me of Papers, Please very much, and I liked that game quite a bit.
Yeah, Papers, Please was awesome. Glory to Aristarchus. But this game is very, very similar to that. A lot of the same mechanics, right? Because there's also a bit of intrigue where you get your instructions from this institute called The Structure, but there's another organization that wants you to not listen to them and do things a different way and treat these people in a different way. And you can research new treatments that make your treatments more efficient, that don't harm the people as much. And yeah, it tells a very interesting story, and the way that you sort of fly around and help these people is really interesting. Now, they do make this for the Switch. So I wanted to come in here and talk about it because it's good news that you liked Papers, Please, and I think that you might like this one because it's just really weird. It's weird is the best way I could describe it.
It's like Voight Kampf, the video game.
You know what? Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. And if you
that was a reference for those of you at home.
It's a Blade Runner reference.
Blade Runner reference, yes.
But like I linked you a review on PC Gamer for it, And like if you scroll down, it shows you some of the screenshots of
I'm
like
looking,
what are the treatments where you're doing the ear treatment. And like you have to like tune it to certain frequencies, and like over on the right hand side there's these little symbols, and you have to like try to like get rid of those. I'm not oh yeah, there's the mouth one where you yeah, it's weird. It's just really weird. It's a very unique pixely art style that it just looks weird, but it plays pretty interesting. So if you're looking for something new to play, I'm digging this. I'm digging this.
Okay.
Yep. All right, time for everybody's favorite recurring segment. Paul's going to talk about Mass Effect.
I am.
Right.
Insert spoiler noise here.
Yep.
Hey, nerds, there's going to be spoilers.
Okay. When we last left you, you were literally at the very end of Mass Effect 2.
I was. I had about 30 minutes of gameplay left.
You did. And I was encouraging. I would have gladly deferred the podcast for 30 minutes to you to finish it. Nope.
I finished it the next day.
All right. So tell me what happened. Who all did you lose in the finale?
Just the people that I had mentioned before. I lost Tali and I lost Garrus. That was it. The ending was very satisfying.
Okay.
Very satisfying. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that, right? Because at the end of the game, what happens? Like, what was the final boss you fought?
The final boss was so the collectors were collecting humans this is a little weird. They were basically turning them into human soup and then using that soup to make a giant Reaper, in the shape of a human.
Yep.
Which is weird. And you think like, okay, all I gotta do is like do this thing and then the Reaper will fall, and then it starts to fall, and then it's like, nope, it's gonna, like, of course you're gonna have to fight this thing, because of course you are. Like, it wasn't a very hard boss fight. I didn't think it was. It was mostly shoot the glowing spots until it stopped trying to kill me. It was fine. Mass Effect, I'm not playing Mass Effect because the gunplay is amazing, right? Like, I'm playing the gunplay bits to get to the next cutscene. But it was perfectly fine ending. And then at the end, you basically have a choice, like most games of this thing, where you could either the elusive man kind of gets on the horn, even though you're in a totally different part of space. He can somehow still call you. He's like, hey, while you were shooting that big robot, we figured out that instead of blowing this base up, we could like take the technology or take the base and figure out how to use it. And I was like, that sounds awful.
You blew it up, huh?
Boom. Yeah, I blew it up. I blew the fuck out of it. Yeah.
The choice was to capture the collector base or to destroy it.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So I done blowed it up.
Done blowed it up. So thus concluded Mass Effect 2, and you liked it.
I did.
Okay. Now, you did start playing Mass Effect 3, I take it.
I have not got to put in as much time with it as I would as I should have. I'm not going to say liked.
Okay.
Because I don't know whether it's the game or it's burnout, but like it's I'm going to beat it. God damn it, I'm going to beat it.
Yep.
But it feels like work.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, you have been going pretty hard at it. I'm not gonna lie.
So I'm hoping. I haven't even touched a video game for like 4 days because of like personal stuff. So I'm hoping that when I sit down this weekend, I'm going to get back into it and it's going to engage me. But I have some problems with Mass Effect 3.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay, so I had these in an order I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to skip around. The Mass Effect series so far has been thirsty, like really thirsty, but I feel like Mass Effect 3 just cranked that thirst up to 11. They just
Why is that?
Well, so I feel like like I literally wrote down, did Liara's boobs get bigger?
Yeah.
So that was my first thing, and there's a character. At least I don't know whether you all. Again, I'm not engaged in this lore, but in my play, at least Edie took over a robot body.
Yep.
And what the literal fuck?
Yep.
So there's that, and it's fine. Like whatever. Like I get it. Like the game was.
She's not for you. She's for Jeff.
Yeah. Yeah. So the game. Here's my biggest problem with it. The game introduced a couple of new movement mechanics, right? Jumping and ladders.
Right.
And I think the game designers, the level designers were like, hey, let's use those as much as possible and not have. But Mass Effect 2 also got rid of the map for most of the things, right? If you're in a mission, there's not a map, and you just like for the PlayStation, you just click one of the thumbsticks and you get an arrow to where you need to go. So Mass Effect 2, I was able to generally know where I was at all times and explore, but still get there. Well, Mass Effect 3 seems to be like, hey, it's going to be really cute. We're going to have this big area, but not tell you where to go. Just a vague thing of like, find this thing. I think the maps are poorly designed, and I keep getting lost.
Okay.
Even the Citadel, which does have a map, I think is designed super confusing, and I get lost in the Citadel even with the freaking map. So a lot of my time so far with this game has been like, I just want a big arrow to come down from the sky and say, walk this way. And I'm not getting that. And like I said, I spent a lot of time being lost in Mass Effect missions. They also changed. So the game's always been like, you have, as far as like combat, you get to equip like one of like 5 different styles of weapons: a pistol, a sniper rifle, an assault rifle, but whatever. And Mass Effect 3 introduces this weight system where you have to pick what guns you have, and the more weight you have, the slower your powers recharge. And it just, given the we don't care, your guns shrink down to a small size anyway, it doesn't matter. The weight system just feels kind of pointless and punitive. And they also added in a upgrade system, which just feels like someone played a game with weapon upgrades and were like, we need that. So I just think like all of the Mass Effect 2 and 1 were great stories held together by a decent game. And I feel the game part of Mass Effect 3 is considerably worse.
Okay.
Which may be why it's so hard for me to, like, why I've been having such a hard time finding the energy to play it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about these. Okay. So I'll do these in reverse order. So yes, they made the weapons a little extra fiddly in Mass Effect 3. Like in Mass Effect 2, I thought it was fine because
it was
you could
fine.
equip
Yeah.
It was fine. There were different types of each gun. You chose one that sort of suited your playstyle. And the other thing Mass Effect 2 did was, depending on what class you played, determine what weapons you got. For instance, I played a soldier, so I didn't have an SMG the entire game. My squad mates might have, but I didn't. Now, in Mass Effect 3, it doesn't matter what you're playing, you can equip, I think, up to 5 weapons, right? And like you're saying, these weapons have qualities like damage, and one of the qualities is weight. And like you said, you summed it up perfectly, the more weight you carry, the less your powers recharge. And it's designed to give you a trade-off of, if you are playing a character with bionic powers, the intent is take lighter guns and use your bionic powers more. I think that was the original intent of it, but there's really not a quote-unquote penalty outside of that for just taking every gun. Now, I found myself in my last playthrough of Mass Effect 3, based on my character and my playstyle, I really only ever used 2 guns, and it was a heavy pistol and a shotgun. Like, those are the only guns I ever kept. I did not play a bionic, so there was never an incentive for me not to take it. right? But
Right.
you can get attachments and things later on that help alleviate some of that if you do want to carry more guns. So, yeah, the upgrade system I could take or leave. There are also a ton of guns in that game. Most of them are pretty bad. I'm going to be honest with you. Some of them are gimmicky.
Yes. Yeah.
Some of them are cool. Like there is a Turian sniper rifle that is essentially a rocket sniper rifle that is pretty darn good, especially for killing like mechanicals, I guess.
Yeah.
It's really good for that, and there's a lot of those in that game. But yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily a decent addition. The ladders and the jumping again. They're an annoyance. They could have. They could. I will say this though. They could have made it more finicky than it is, because it's literally just run up to it to jump, or it's run up to the ladder to climb.
And it's not the mechanics so far. It's like, to me, it's the choices they made in the level design to highlight those movements, which just makes the levels harder to navigate and more confusing. Like, I don't like. I mean. I'm not the best video game player, Drew, but I usually don't get lost in video games.
Sure.
And I've been like the game's telling me to find this thing, and I felt like I've walked around everywhere and I can't find this thing. So let's walk around the other way to see if I can find it. Yeah, which isn't fun,
Yeah.
but
yeah. And then
you know what else grinds my gears, Drew?
what's that?
So, Mass Effect 2 had a. You went into your journal and you had a whole bunch of missions, right? Like a lot of missions, regular ones, so you had missions or assignments and side missions. I don't know, basically ones that definitely felt like moving the plot forward, and definitely ones that were side missions. But the nice thing is you could go to the galaxy map, which is where you go to travel to different star systems and do stuff. And you could always go, oh, this star system has this mission in it because I see the name of the mission right underneath the star system. How very polite of you. Mass Effect 3 went, what if we did that same thing, except the systems that have Reapers, we're not going to show anything unless you hover over them. And the ones that don't, we're going to give them cute little summaries that isn't the exact name of the mission
right
that you want, but if you have a list of all of them, which is on a different screen, by the way, you might be able to figure it out. And that just pisses me off. So what I end up having to do, what I do is I'll go, okay, this is the mission I want to do. And I open up the journal screen and I take a picture of that with my phone. And then I go to my mission, the galaxy map, and I go, which one of these cute little phrases might be that mission? Oh, there it is. Got it.
Yep. Okay, well, I have to tell you it's worse than that.
Okay.
Because these side missions where it's like, here's what happens, right? And I bet you this is what happened to you. You're walking around the Citadel, somebody says something, and then you get a journal update. Yes. Go do this thing.
And right? They're all mixed together. So, all the bullshit missions and the important ones are mixed together, which, whatever.
Well, one quick tip. Anything that says priority is a main story mission.
I got that. Yep.
All right. So, but yes, a lot of these side missions are literally figure out what system they want you to go investigate it, scan a planet, get the thing, and come back. That's usually what it is. Now, not all the time. Some of the times, it is when you are in a mission, whether it is a main story mission or a side mission, there will be an object that you have to interact with that is the thing you need to take back to the person. Now, again, this is something the game doesn't necessarily tell you, but let's say you go to one of these mission zones and you forget or you miss the key item.
Mm-hmm.
You could still get it. You have to go to your Spectre terminal in the Citadel, and you can purchase it.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're ever like, wow, did I miss something? Check your Spectre terminal from time to time, and if there's an item in there that doesn't make any sense, that's probably a key item for one of your side quests that you just missed in one of the missions.
Got it.
Okay. So again, not something it tells you. I'm just telling you because I found out the hard way. Now, what was I going to say? Where are you in the game?
Okay. So as far as
game starts,
okay,
right? You've been in space jail.
I've been in space jail.
Yep.
I get the Normandy back. You talk to the Citadel and their base. I mean, this also part is really depressing too. It's like, here's a very clear and obvious threat that if we all work together, we could eliminate. But nah, we can't be bothered.
What are you gonna do for me?
Yeah. So I'm playing I like Space Proctor. I'm basically flying around and talking to people. As far as like that main storyline, I'm trying to get the Krogans to help the Turians, so the Turians will help the humans. For the Turians, they wanted their lady back, who apparently is immune to the Genophage.
The Krogans.
That's what I meant. Thank you. The Krogans have they want their lady back. I got the lady back, but they're still mad. I don't know. There's side missions. I kind of like, okay, whatever. I left that to the side and I went back to the Citadel, and I started getting into the Leviathan DLC.
Oh, good.
Because that just seemed, because honestly, out of everything that I've done so far, there's that part. This is what hooked me with the Leviathan DLC, was finding all of the clues.
Yes.
In that doctor's office and putting them together to figure out which system to go. Like as soon as I did all that and then found the thing with like hidden codes and pictures from his daughter, I was like, I'm in. I'm going. Choo choo.
Yep.
And I've done some of that. I think investigating the mining colony there was what I finished the last time I played. And
okay.
I think there's something on the map. No, I think I have to go back to the doctor's office to figure something, or to get. I have to get that artifact, the word glowing thing in there. So I have to go back and do that. Which is what I'm going to do tomorrow night. But
yep. So you can safely do that one now. You can also safely do. Sooner or later, Arya will want to talk to you somewhere in the Citadel.
I have talked to her, but I haven't started doing her little quests to unify the people.
That is the Omega DLC. I would finish Leviathan first, then go do Omega.
Okay.
There is a third DLC called the Citadel DLC, but I don't think you'll get to do that until you finish all of the Chachunka quests.
Got it. Okay.
At which point you're safe. Yeah,
don't tell me. I want. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good to do it then. You're good to do it then. I did it at the wrong time, but based on how your game is going, you're okay to do it.
Yeah, it like my galactic readiness scores. It might as well be 0.
Well, there's okay. So I don't think I'm spoiling anything when I tell you that number will determine the outcome of the game.
Basically, like there's some big things that's minimum score. So I'm sure if I don't hit that and the Reapers come, I get the bad ending.
Well, yes, but here's the thing: as you progress through the main plot points, that number will jump substantially.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I figured. Yep.
Yeah. Like when you finally convince the Turians to help you, like you're going to get a big number.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Okay, and then there's more of those to come. Now, you can absolutely boost that number. And the two ways you're going to boost that number are side quests. Okay, so like scanning those planets, getting those artifacts, finding things, okay? Doing side quests that you actually have to go somewhere and fight. Let me ask you a question. Did you go to the school yet?
No. It's no, I have not done that.
After Leviathan, do that.
Okay.
That is a really cool mission. I think you will really enjoy that. And again, like doing those will help you jump that score.
Okay.
You also come into this game with a score depending on what you have done up to this point. And as the game progresses,
basically it was almost 0.
Let me ask you a question. Well, here, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, okay? But in the first game, you saved the Rachni Queen, right?
I did.
Sooner or later, she comes to help you.
So, one of the Krogan leader gave me a quest that like hinted at the Rock Knight Queen's involvement. So I have a feeling that she's going to come up with
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now in my game, didn't have that because I killed her.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are multiple endings to this game,
Okay.
and I think I might have told you this before. There is also a canonical ending. There are multiple endings, but there's one that is considered canonical. I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but there is one that is considered canonical. And in the canonical ending, if you have a galactic readiness score that is not max, but a really seriously almost silly number to hit, you get a secret cutscene at the end of the game that I'm not going to tell you about. But
Okay.
I played my playthrough of 1, 2, and 3 to the best of my ability. In 3, I made choices, because I understand how the mechanics work, because I played it enough. I made choices in 3 that I thought weren't going to be a big deal. And I thought, I'll still have enough score to get the secret ending. I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I kicked myself for them. Again, these are things that you will start to see as you play. Your number, like, based on the way you play the game, I feel you should be able to get, like, all the endings.
Okay.
Yeah, I think your complaints with the game are valid. The game does start a little bit slow. When you get to Chachunka and you start doing those missions, that's where the game grabbed me. You don't have Rex alive, so you don't get to see all of the cutscenes that I got to see. But again, that's where this continuity comes, right? Because you're fundamentally playing the same game I did, but you're not. Because you're not going to get the same encounters. You're not going to get the same people as me. And there are some really insane things coming that I hope you're prepared for. But take your time with it, right? Like, you're doing Leviathan, which, again, I fucking love that DLC. Omega's really good. Citadel DLC is campy, but it's funny and it's good. There's some really powerful moments coming. Like, I cry at various points in Mass Effect 3. I'm not even kidding. Like, some of this stuff is pretty sad, right? Because there are things that you will get to experience, and there are characters that are going to come back that you're going to get to see, and you're going to have a good time. Now, one final question for you. Who did you recruit so far for your party?
Oh, hold on. I really don't have a whole lot. Obviously, you get Liara because you kind of get railroaded into that Mars mission, which is great because she's my girl.
Yep.
Edie, of course. And Javik, the
Oh, you got him. Okay.
Yeah, dude, his accent is so like just bad. Anywho,
by the way, here's the thing about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's a Prothean, right?
He is a Prothean. Yep, the last Prothean.
If you really want some interesting dialogue, take him along with missions with you, right? Because he's basically like the man time forgot, right? So like there's one mission in particular that if you take him on is really fucking funny. That's all I'll say. And I feel like you'll know which one it is when it's time.
Yeah. I've been taking Javik and Edie along on missions so far because I think they complement each other well. But and what, James, because you get James.
Mm-hmm. Beefcake.
Yeah, dude. pull up McGee.
Yeah. Well, there's also a little robot dog down in the cargo bay.
He is. I could not pet the robot dog. I was so mad.
You can.
Oh,
when you first meet him, you can't. There's like a bug, but if you go back, you can. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, you can pet him.
Okay.
You can talk to him too. It's great.
I'll have to go back. Okay, that's going to be the next thing I do. I have to go back down and pet the robot dog. Oh. Okay.
Well, I know that you're trying to get through this before you get to Horizon season. And I hope you stick with it.
I still have a couple of weeks, so
that should be plenty of time. I really hope you stick with it, man. I would love to see you get that story to fruition. And I would love to hear your thoughts on the ending because, like I said, they did change it a bit from when it originally launched. And this was the first time I got to see the ending. What they originally called it the extended cut, and now it is, the de facto ending in Legendary Edition. So, I'll be happy to talk to you about what they changed. And it doesn't really matter to me, but nerds are a little less mad.
I'm hoping that, I mean, not by choice, but the last few days I haven't got to play anything. So I'm hoping tomorrow night after work, as long as I still have power.
Oh, really? Has that been a problem?
Here, I'm gonna OPSEC. I'm not gonna put this in the. Hold on. Or we can put it in there. I don't care. Whatever. South Central. So I have a little energy co-op. It's been raining and icing for those of you who don't live
Yep.
in the United States. It's been here the dock. So I have a little energy co-op called South Central Power, and I've been watching their outage map
Ooh.
all day. And
Well,
it's not good. It's not good. Now, granted, if you're looking at that map and you see the kind of the swath to the northwest that doesn't have any, like kind of
northeast or northwest?
Northwest, kind of northwest of Asheville, like
Northwest of Asheville.
right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
near Pickerington.
Yeah. So I'm in that kind of area where there's nothing like there, but like in the south of Grove City area. Oh no, the other side, the other northwest. West is on the left. So kind of south of Grove City, where there's that big open spot where there's nothing, and there hasn't been all day. That's where I live. But
Wait. Hold on a second. So I'm looking at. I see Circleville.
okay, so go north, and you'll see Asheville.
North
Okay.
of Circleville.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Asheville. Yep.
So
yep.
if you take that line and you know where the dot is for Grove City, and you draw a straight line, I'm kind of in
in the middle.
I'm in the middle. Yep.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm assuming that the shapes and the numbers are people who don't have power.
Yes.
Okay, well you're okay then.
So far.
So this is grown.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
If you click on that little lower left hand side, there'll be you see the bar graph, where it has a lot of bars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah. It really freaked us out here because we got an email from AEP, who's our power provider, and they were like, "Hey, power might go out. Buy some matches." Right? It was like,
Yeah.
and we had, I don't know how it's been down by you, but it rained all day yesterday. Recording this on a Thursday. It rained all day on Wednesday, and then it turned to ice. And it was sleeting all day, and it just finally turned to snow a little bit. It's actually not snowing here right now.
Yeah,
I'm looking. Hold on. Actually, let me check. I shouldn't say that. Let me pull up my security cameras. Traditionally though, has it gone out for you with weather like this?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not. Yes. Yeah. I mean, granted, I think this is the worst that we've had as far as ice since we lived in this house. But yeah, we have a lot of above ground, a lot of rural areas, a lot of above, power lines on poles near trees, which is exactly what you don't want in an ice storm.
Well, it's funny because on the main road that kind of cuts out past my house, there is a series of telephone poles with wires on them, but all of our power's underground, so I really don't know what's in those lines. I think they're mostly telecommunications. I don't think they're power. Maybe they are. I don't know. But I'm looking at my security cameras right now, and it doesn't look like it's snowing, but it is a blowing. There is snow blowing everywhere. But I don't see, I can only see that on one side of my house. When I look at the other side of the house, I don't see anything. But yeah, I don't know how much you guys got down there. We only got probably 3 or 4 inches up here. It hasn't been as bad as they said.
I mean, we don't have a lot of snow, but we're we just got pelted with those ice balls, and everything is crunchy. Everything is crunchy and slippy at the same time. So
crunchy and slippy.
Yep.
Crunchy and slippy. Hold on a second. I need to check something here. I'm gonna check my backyard. Substream 1. Oh, that's not what I wanted. How do I do this? Is it not working? It's not working. Son of a gun. Why can't... Oh, there we go. Okay, now I got the high res. Yeah, it's weird. My security cameras, you can select multiple streams. There's low bandwidth and high bandwidth because it records in 4K.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just pull up the web console, it defaults to the low bandwidth. But I can turn it up to 5K and see all the pixels. All the pixels.
All damn pixels.
Yep. All right, that's enough talk. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you can find us on the internet at poopritual.com or javascriptandlies.com or doingtheirbest.com. You can find us on Twitter at Doing Best Pod. I'm on Twitter at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, Pattfurg.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.